Welcome back, everyone. Happy New Year. It looks like Ahsoka Season 2 is pulling out all the stops with way more complete version of live-action Clone Wars, and we got some confirmation on how they're recasting Stevenson's Baylan Skoll after he passed away tragically, so we'll break it all down. Because I know there's a couple really big cameo scenes that everybody's been asking for that they have not done on Ahsoka yet. It sounds like Dave Filoni is going all out with the storyline in Season 2 and all the cameos, like way more big cameos, to try and wrap up the whole Mortis Gods arc that they started in Season 1, just in case the show gets canceled after Season 2. Just because that's kind of been Star Wars' thing recently, canceling a ton of stuff, like canceling The Mandalorian Season 4 in favor of turning it into a 2.5-hour movie instead. So we'll break it all down. Overall, it's actually the best possible news we could have gotten for Ahsoka Season 2. For everybody that complains about Season 1, it sounds like they're fixing a lot of those issues for Season 2. And everybody could use some good Star Wars news right now. If you're brand new to the channel, be sure to subscribe to get all of the episodes. We also have Andor Season 2 episodes coming in a little while. I'll be doing videos for that, and we have the Skeleton Crew finale next week too. Technically, it is meant to be a spin-off of Ahsoka and The Mandalorian, like it takes place around the same time of Ahsoka Season 1 and The Mandalorian Season 3. We will see if there's a much deeper connection between all of the series in the finale, or if they just treat it like its own separate thing, just happening in the same part of the timeline. But probably the biggest news this week you probably saw, it was announced that Ewan McGregor, Hayden Christensen, and Arianna Greenblatt would all be coming to Ahsoka Season 2 for more live-action Clone Wars flashbacks, but this time, way more complete version of that. Because now they also have Obi-Wan Kenobi, Anakin Skywalker, and young Ahsoka at the same time, whereas Season 1 was just Anakin, young Ahsoka, and Commander Cody. Personally, when they announced that Hayden Christensen had signed a new deal with Star Wars to come back for a whole bunch of different series where he played both Anakin Skywalker and Darth Vader in flashbacks and in present day, I always assumed that at some point Dave Filoni, the Star Wars people, would try to find a way to do a more complete live-action Clone Wars. Dave Filoni's whole big thing that he talked about in interviews a long time ago during The Mandalorian, especially in the early seasons before he made the Ahsoka series, was that he was trying to bring all of his animated stuff into live action. It's just that he really slow-rolled it there for a couple years on that plan. Like, you could tell they were just testing the waters out at first. Like, we'll see how everybody likes live-action Ahsoka. Does it work? Like, can we accomplish this? Turns out they can't. Like, big yes. Then they tried out a little bit of live-action Clone Wars flashbacks with Hayden Christensen, Anakin, and a younger version of Ahsoka, and it went gangbusters. Like, it was great. I know a lot of you have been asking for them to actually do a legit separate live-action Clone Wars series, like why not just do a full live-action Clone Wars series with all of them? The answer to that is actually pretty simple. It's all about money. Like, the budget for that would be way too large. It's one of the major reasons why a lot of these Star Wars series have been getting canceled so fast. Best example of that is Andor Season 2. The budget for Andor Season 2 is over, I think, almost like $250 million or something like that. Like some crazy number. It costs more money than most giant Marvel movies. Lucasfilm is really trying to keep the budgets of these closer to like $150 million. I could do a whole video about why the animated Clone Wars was actually a money-losing endeavor for George Lucas. The budget for that was so big that he didn't make any money on it. Now, he didn't care because he has crazy money to spend. Like, he doesn't care about blowing his money. He just cared about making a really good TV series. He didn't care how much it cost. Disney, though, not so much. Disney's like, no, we have to earn money on this. You may have seen Ewan McGregor has been talking to the Star Wars people, trying to get them to make Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2. He's been talking about a lot of his conventions, but most of the recent reports out of Lucasfilm are that they have no plans on actually making that. In one of the biggest untold stories or big twists that Ewan McGregor said that he hadn't done that he still wanted to do was to wear Obi-Wan Kenobi's Clone Wars armor, meaning that he wanted to do some live-action Clone Wars. If Lucasfilm wasn't going to do Obi-Wan Kenobi Season 2 and they couldn't do it during that, they literally just did live-action Clone Wars flashbacks in Ahsoka Season 1 with Hayden Christensen wearing Anakin Skywalker's Clone Wars armor. The easy solution, like you don't have to be a genius to figure this out, just add Obi-Wan Kenobi to those live-action flashbacks in Season 2. I was a little sad they didn't try to use him for Season 1, but I kind of understand the whole point of those scenes where, one, Dave Filoni was just kind of testing things out to keep the budget down, too, to see if it would work, like they could actually accomplish it. And part of the whole point of those scenes was that it was part of the larger lessons that present-day Force Ghost Anakin was teaching older Ahsoka through the world between worlds, so it was just really about those two characters. You may have also seen Rosario Dawson has been doing a lot of convention panels in the last year with Hayden Christensen. She pointed out, too, that in Season 1, Ahsoka still has stacks and stacks of those hollow discs, and each of them is a recording that Anakin Skywalker made for her during the Clone Wars. That is another really easy way to do Anakin Skywalker and Obi-Wan Kenobi live-action flashbacks, too, without actually having to do like a giant big scene. All that takes is a little bit of green screen and some After Effects. You don't even have to use the World Between Worlds to accomplish those scenes. You can also just have older Ahsoka remembering her adventures with them during the Clone Wars or telling stories to other characters like Sabine as a path to more Clone Wars flashbacks. I think after the Ahsoka Season 1 finale, we all assumed that Anakin Skywalker would have to come back for Season 2 in present day as part of the whole Mortis Gods arc that they set up. It was meant to be a really big deal with the way they set it up. Dave Filoni's whole teaser for Season 2, when he announced that he was actually sitting down to write it and start making it, was a Mortis Gods teaser. Like, oh, we're going to be doing a whole lot of Mortis Gods stuff. Ahsoka is currently stuck in that Peridia galaxy. Baylan's Skoll was on that Peridia planet still trying to enter Mortis. That's what the beacon he was looking at was meant to represent. He was trying to use the Mortis Gods statues as a map point to find a way to enter Mortis. Speaking of which, here's the next big announcement. Because Ray Stevenson passed away recently, may he rest in peace, his storyline just seemed like it was way too important for them to not recast the character or just forget about it altogether, like just forget about all the Mortis God stuff. And apparently Dave Filoni has now recast him with Rory McCann, who most of you remember as the Hound from Game of Thrones.
I understand that if any more words come pouring out your mouth, I'm going to have to eat every chicken in this room.
Probably going to ask him to swear less while he's playing Baylan Skoll. One of the other cool coincidences, though, is that Rory McCann was a longtime personal friend of Ray Stevenson in real life. So it's like if you died and your best friend in real life took over the role for you. So given the bad things that have happened, I think it's the best possible solution that they could have come up with. Speaking of Mortis Gods, there's also a rumor that the main villain for Season 2 will ultimately wind up being Abeloth from the Legends version of the Mortis arc that started during the Clone Wars episodes. She wasn't part of the original Clone Wars Mortis arc, but during the Legends books, they explained that she was known as the Mother originally, a human woman who just came to care for the son and daughter like they were her own children, and generally as the Mortis Gods as her family. But because they were immortal and she was a normal human, she worried about losing her family and then tried to use the font of power in the wellspring of the Force, like a Force nexus, to give herself some of the same abilities so she wouldn't die. It twisted her into the creature Abeloth, corrupting her, turning her into more of like a cosmic Force entity who sought to bring chaos to the universe. Basically a standard end of days destruction of the universe scenario. So maybe this current Mortis arc that Baylan Skoll is on, that they're setting up in Season 1, will wind up leading to something in that region. But one of my other big theories is that Dave Filoni is going to try and use this Mortis arc to turn Anakin Skywalker into a Force God. Basically have him replace the Mortis Gods and fill their role that they originally used to serve in the Force. That was what the Father told him during the Mortis episodes. You are destined to replace us, essentially.
Do you feel your destiny? You must see it now. I am dying, and you must replace me.
Replace you? I can't stay here.
But this is yours. It has been foretold.
He's basically doing what they used to do, but on a more cosmic scale. That's why we haven't seen him around so much, because he's been busy balancing the entire universe in the Force. And because of that, they can actually have Sam Witwer show up as a live-action version of the Son. The first actual Star Wars character that he played inside the actual Star Wars shows after Starkiller, because he was just a video game character, was the Son for the Mortis episodes. He's talked a lot about this in the past, but he did that before he ever did the voice of Darth Maul.
It started with this character called the Son of Mortis, who they were like, you want to do Clone Wars? I'm like, yeah, sure. And eventually I find out that you're like, no, you're playing the dark side of the Force, named the Son. And the audience is it's going to dawn on them that this is actually the voice of the dark side.
If you didn't see any of my Ahsoka videos or the Star Wars episodes from the other Disney Plus series that I did, Sam Witwer has had stealth cameos in almost every single Star Wars series so far, but he's either always had his face covered so you couldn't see that it was him, or he was just playing background voices so that you wouldn't know that it was him, like he was using a different voice. You wouldn't know it was him unless you saw the credits. People keep asking him, why have you not shown up in a Star Wars series? Like, you're a young person, you're a good actor, and you know your Star Wars, like, you're so into this Star Wars universe. It's weird that you haven't shown up as a really big character on screen where we can all see your face. It's possible that Dave Filoni has just been saving him for a much bigger role down the road, maybe a live-action version of the Son. And even though I don't really plan to get too deep into it during this particular video just because of all the new stuff, but there's still all the Thrawn Night Sisters storyline in the main galaxy with them resurrecting all those different Night Sisters. All these boxes here are basically the dead bodies of ancient Night Sisters that they plan on resurrecting with their magic. They might wind up saving some of that plot for the Thrawn movie that Dave Filoni is still planning on making, but right now most of their focus in the movies is on the Mandalorian and Grogu stuff. That'll probably be a much smaller endeavor. Like, I don't expect them to get into a ton of the Night Sister stuff during that movie. But I do believe that Ahsoka will show up during the movie. Like, there'll be several big-name cameos. Like, it's not just going to be Mando and Grogu for that entire movie. Everybody post all your reactions in the comments below. I'll do more videos about this when we learn more, but they're not going to start filming Season 2 till a little bit later this year, and we won't see Season 2 episodes until 2026 at least. Next big thing will be the Skeleton Crew Season 2 finale. My video for that will post next week after they release the episode. After that, we'll get the Andor Season 2 episodes. I've already done a big trailer video for that. Click here for that, and click here for my Mandalorian and Grogu movie trailer video. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you guys in the next one.